We're here tonight at Brennan Theaters watching The Great Wall, starring Matt Damon. I am a fan of monster creature movies, like B movies, C movies. They're fun for me. So when this was coming out, we're gonna see that one. Movie was phenomenally entertaining. Oh my god. They have a setup where everything is like a color coordination. The women wear blue armor, archers wear red armor, and the up-close brawlers, they wear black armor. I really like that. It was just kind of like when you're watching it, you see the different sections of how things work and how they're different sections, but they work together as one big unit to take down I forgot what they call them. I call them dragon things, even though they're not really dragon things, but they're still kind of dragon things. And the thing with the creatures, they also have their own kind of unit thing. It's not like some creature movies where it's like, it's just the creature or just the monster. You have your scouts and you have bigger security brawler guys and you have like the queen. You're seeing two factions of an army, and I really like that, how they like come together. Like I said, with the colors, it really stuck out. Really nice.
This is a very interesting movie. Going into this movie, I actually didn't know what to think. I didn't know kind of what they were going for. I mean, you see the super martial arts concepts in the trailer, at least what I assumed were, where he does the arrows and flipping the bowl around and stuff like that is in the trailer. But I didn't know exactly how much of a martial arts movie it was going to be, how much of a drama it was going to be, exactly what they were going for. It's not a martial arts movie at all, which surprised me. I actually misjudged the movie going in altogether, which is disappointing for me because I really like that genre of film. But that doesn't mean this was going to be a bad movie. So going in, I kept it with an open mind. I enjoyed the world they created. I enjoyed the visuals they used to portray this world. They are amazing. Eye candy, this movie definitely is. Especially if you're a fan of Asian cultures and things like that. The concepts of battle and how they handle things are really cool.
The Great Wall poses the question of what are they hiding? What are they fighting? Why did they build it? They reveal the answer to this pretty early on in the film, and I liked that we got right into the action pretty quickly. That was one of the best things about this movie, is that we got to get to a big action scene really fast. Then they reveal what they're fighting against, and frankly, the monster designs are not that interesting. A little bit cliche, just sort of your standard CG claws and teeth swarming everywhere, super violent, tough to kill, and that brings it down quite a bit for me. The monsters are really not that interesting, and that's kind of a big part of the movie. The battle scenes are really fun. The costumes are really nice to look at. The overall design of the movie is a lot more colorful than most films of this type, which tend to be really dark and dingy. This one is well lit, very bright, very colorful. The action scenes are very fun, very enjoyable. They move from one way to fight the creatures to another, and you get to see all of the different kind of inventions that they have. Go gadget, Great Wall sort of situation going on.
The Great Wall was a very enjoyable movie. I enjoyed it very much. It was visually stunning. This was a beautiful movie. I can't say enough about how good this movie looked. If it was going on visuals alone, I'd rate it a 10. As far as story goes, it was pretty predictable. The script could use some work. There wasn't any surprises for me anyway. It was your typical monsters versus an army movie, similar to like Starship Troopers or if you play StarCraft.
Acting was not that solid. It was kind of just one of those, you're in a movie, Matt Damon. Hey, you're in a movie, guy from Game of Thrones, and all right, sure, I guess, yeah, why not? Tianjing, if I've seen you in something before, I don't recall it, but you are gorgeous, absolutely, with the way like your skin, the blue armor, the way that you're like a leader, strong leader. I like that. It's one of those things in movies where traditional, it's like the dude's the dude and he's super strong, and the woman's like, oh my god, help me. It's almost kind of flipped with this. It's like, yeah, you have your couple dudes that are, you know, the brawlers, but you see the women of this really carrying the weight.
There are a lot of really neat aspects of this film. Problem is, the story and the acting are not those neat concepts. The acting was so-so, definitely not Matt Damon's best work. I counted 4 different accents in the course of the movie that he had, and I'm not sure which one was actually supposed to be his. I assumed the normal American accent was supposed to be his, because that was the one we heard the most, but he was British at one point, and then it was just really weird. That really drew away from the movie for me, that it wasn't very focused. The director didn't catch these things and fix these things, but my guess is they were focusing more on the visuals and how much money they spent on the amazing costumes and the wall itself being a character, which I thought was really cool. Plus, I mean, the entire enemy force is CG, so this must have cost them a fortune. And they look pretty cool.
The acting is not the highlight of this film. Matt Damon is the star, but he seems a little out of place, like he's just sort of got dropped into a Chinese movie. Everybody else in the movie is fine, serviceable. Nothing really stood out in terms of the acting. Other than our supporting character, you probably know him from Game of Thrones, played the character of Oberon. He was the most entertaining presence in the film. He's not in that much of it, but every moment that he's in is an enjoyable moment.
The acting was a little weak. Matt Damon was a little weak on his acting, I thought. Some of the side characters were much more interesting and better acted.
The music, killer, absolute phenomenal music. It stands out, grabs your attention. And it's one of those things where they, right off the bat, they tell you, hey, here's a real thing, the Great Wall of China is a real thing. And now we're gonna tell you, here's one of those legend, myth stories, and here's the story we're telling you. So right off the fly, you're like, okay, this is probably something that the Chinese just legend or whatnot, which I'm not gonna spoil. But all in all, for me, movie's 8.5 out of 10. The acting was kind of some of the problem, kind of like Matt Damon was very like, I'm a Westerner. Here for trade. A lot of cliches, a lot of things that you can kind of call out, but that's okay. Because it's one of those movies where you're just going to go for entertainment and just kind of be like, that was visually stunning. That was like, dude, that was sick. The way they like jump off the wall and the way the camera follows it. So it's worth it. It is worth a go. It's worth a watch. It's worth debate. It's worth everything. I've noticed, this is just me that I've noticed this, I could be way wrong, but Universal and Legendary have been teaming up now, doing these monster type movies. They did Jurassic World together. They did this one together. Pretty sure they're in cahoots with King Kong. I know Legendary's involved with that. Legendary's killing it with these creature monster movies. Like, keep doing what you're doing. Don't try and reinvent the wheel. Just stick with what you know because it is working. I am sold.
When it comes to the story, the thing that, like a pet peeve of mine, is when you're watching a story, a character does something, and you feel like they just did something outside of the character they've established. So you watch a movie and you kind of learn about the character, especially the main character. You see their motivations, you see why they're there, you hear about their past, and you kind of get the sense of who they are. But when they totally do something that doesn't make any sense to what's been explained, it really bothers me. It bothers me in video games, it bothers me in movies. It's just something that really eats at me. And I feel that that happened a couple times in this movie. It definitely took away from the movie for me. So, plus the ending, this is the second week in a row I'm going to say bad ending. Bad ending. I didn't care how they ended it. It didn't make any sense. That was the one thing that a majority of us agreed on afterwards. Why did they do that? That doesn't make any sense to the characters. So, with that being said, be careful going to watch this movie. Don't have too high of hopes. Expect amazing eye candy. I would say it's worth watching just to see some of the battle scenes because they're really cool. And the clever ideas they came up with on how they fight these creatures using the wall was really, really neat. I would almost want to see more of that. It just needs some better characters surrounding it, and it needs some better acting surrounding it, and maybe some better choices when it came to the conclusion. So I'm going to give this movie a 6 out of 10. It's an okay movie. It's nothing great, it's not horrible. It definitely has some aspects that are cool, like I said, and it has some aspects that really drag it down. So in my opinion, 6 out of 10 is an average movie. Worth a watch, maybe not in the theater, but definitely worth a watch.
I have a theory that there's never been a good movie made that has a hot air balloon in it. This movie had about a dozen hot air balloons in it, so it is no exception to the rule. A fun movie, not a good one. Overall, I have to give it a 6 out of 10.
I did like this world. It's sort of an alternate reality, and that definitely appeals to me. The large battles were a lot of fun to watch. The story and the acting, I would give this movie a 7. If it was strictly on the visual effects, it'd be a 10. So I guess I'll split the difference. So I'll give this movie an 8 because I did enjoy it, and it's definitely worth seeing. But I wouldn't say it was a great movie, but it was definitely a very enjoyable evening.
Go on ahead and favorite this video, like it, subscribe to this channel for more reviews like this, throwback reviews, unboxing videos, other things that we're going to be doing coming out this year. Question for you this week: what is your favorite Matt Damon movie and or monster creature movie? Throw that down there. That way it's kind of like, you know, I know Matt Damon can do better, and I know there's a whole lot of other monster creature things out there. So what do you down there? Do it. Just tap, tap, click a roo. And remember, you heard it here at the source.